jihadists who tried to silence them. The newspaper is coming out with a brand new issue, and this is the cover. It shows the Muslim prophet Muhammad weeping with a sign that says, Je suis Charlie, and the words, all is forgiven, above him in French. Here's more from the cartoonist who drew that cover image.
I thought we had to have a drawing that was going to make us laugh. We didn't want to have a drawing that was going to deal with the emotions that we're victims of. It wasn't the front page that the world would have wanted us to have done, but it was the front page that we wanted. And it wasn't the one that the terrorists would have wanted.
Brave move, courageous, Dana?
I don't know if it's courageous or not. But I like it that they've continued their tradition of doing what they want to do. They don't care what anybody else thinks. When I first saw it, I thought, I don't understand it. But I guess you could look at it in several different ways, and I think Greg's got a great take on it, which I should probably let him say what that take is, and it helped me understand it better.
Are you calling on Greg?
I guess I am.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
okay, the first mistake is that's not Muhammad, that's Geraldo. And I have no idea why they did it. He's on The Apprentice, and perhaps they're trying to do a dual promotion. When Bernard Hotrop, is that how you said? He was the cartoonist, said that we vomit all over our new friends. This is actually the metaphorical vomit. In my opinion, they're mocking the symbolic gestures that make you feel good but do nothing. So you have Muhammad holding up a sign saying, we're sorry, which is basically what everybody's doing right now in the streets of Paris. But where were these people before? None of these people knew who Theo Van Gogh was, who was stabbed with a flag in his chest by a radical Muslim. They don't know who Hirsi Ali is. And right now you've got people like Vox and Media Matters cataloging Islamophobia, accusing people who are critical of Islam. So what they're doing, I think they're doing, is they're making fun of the ineffectualness and the inability and the incompetence of people who are coming out right now against this and saying, what is that for? You have to fight this thing. You don't walk out and hold hands.
All right.
Maybe.
Sounds good. It can be multiple choice A.
Yeah, and it's Geraldo.
And it's Geraldo.
Except his shirt was on.
Yeah.
If his shirt was off.
Well, that would have been offensive if it wasn't on.
That would have offended far too many people.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlie is going to print 3 million copies, probably sell out 3 million copies of this. So the point is that the terrorists lost. This is exactly what they didn't want. They didn't want 3 copies of this, let alone 3 million. So they will be disseminated, and that picture will be seen by millions of people. Also, Bob mentioned something yesterday. It matters not what they say, who locks arms. It matters what they do. We should also point out that France today re-upped their airstrikes on ISIS, which is a positive move. So all the rhetoric and all the talk and everything that's going on, all the ceremonies is being backed up with airstrikes, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bob, you made yesterday. People seem to like it.
I think the French president said Islamic terrorists in his speech, which was the first time he's done that, and there's a break. Now, I don't really mind that these people did this and had not yet backed up what they said with action. 2 major things have happened in this fight against Islamic terrorists. One was when they started chopping heads off, when ISIS did that, and that became public, and that sort of opened up the floodgates. This, I think, opened up the floodgates that much more, and now you're starting to see more and more Muslims coming forward, which is really what you need here. So I think in some ways this may be a great contribution when we look back at it through history of a beginning to the end of people like ISIS.
But don't you wish that this would have been unnecessary? Wouldn't 9/11 been enough, or the other attacks that happened in 2005 and later would have been enough to get people to see that there's an issue?
You could say that. I mean, you say that about anything, I suppose, right? I mean, you go back to 1995, the first time that they bombed the World Trade Center.
But that's my
93.
My point is that I'm not actually angry at radical Islam, because this is what they do. It's like getting angry at an earthquake or a rattlesnake. What I'm angry at, and what's worthy of scorn, are the people that have ignored this for so long. The Islamophobia phobes, the writers and the editors and the talking heads who deny an existence of evil while blaming those who speak up, like you, Bob, as bigoted. They're no different than the apologists for communism. As communism killed millions, they denied it. So it's not. When I look at radical Islam, I go, that's what they do. We just kill them.
I think they stepped it up today, though. Did you see this afternoon the picture of the kid, or there's video of the kid, the young jihadist, executing 2 what they call Russian spies? There's a picture of them. There's actually a video that you can see where this kid opens up, he kills the one, and he kills the second one with multiple gunshots to the back of the head. It's once they start with the children, I don't know who they're appealing to. I don't know how normal people around the world, whether you're a Muslim, Islamic sympathizer, a radical sympathizer, which the numbers are amazing how many there are, at some point you have to say, that's it. You've crossed the line. Beheading journalists, maybe they still believe in it. But once you bring a kid in to do this, have they?
Well, they're monsters.
Across all social
But what's it going to take?
They've violated them all.
Remember in Nigeria last week when the 2,000 people are murdered in 1 week,
Boko Haram.
and that was Islamic terrorism. They actually used 10-year-old little girls, and so it's both meant to shock our conscience and to make us scared, and then also it allows them. Who's going to suspect a 10-year-old little girl to come in and actually?
Because they want you to know that the
bomb
face
strapped on.
and the evil of jihad is everywhere.
But in prison, it's pretty well documented that in prison, the people who come to prison who are child abusers, molesters, killers, are pretty much beaten senseless once they get to prison. So there's this like code of ethics within the prison. Why isn't there not a code of ethics within the extremist community going, okay, we're extremists, but you know what? That's it. We're done.
Well, there is. It's Al Qaeda versus ISIS. Believe it or not.
The first mistake is trying to explain morality to a terrorist. That's like trying to teach a rock to drive. It's impossible. I'm curious: is where the heck is Cat Stevens? I mean, the man who applauded a death sentence on Salman Rushdie, only to be rewarded by Jon Stewart to be on the rally to end sanity. Where is he? What is he saying? Has anybody asked him how he feels about this?
I think he has a new album coming out.
Really?
Why don't you direct message him on Twitter?
The thing you said about evil, it's just important here. Their reaction to this is to up the ante.
Right.
When there's exactly the opposite thing they should be doing. And right about now, if you really were playing this game smart, you'd probably go underground a little bit. But no, their idea is to up the ante and think they're going to scare people more. Every time they do this, they scare more people into getting out of the closet.
However, we're going to talk about this in your block later, Bob, which is the concern that there are a lot of sleeper cells around there. They are being told to activate, and there are millions upon millions, an infinite number of soft targets that they can attack, and we can't protect all of them. So the most important thing we can do is surveil and intel.
Well, let's have it out, though. I mean, let's have it. I mean, if we're going to do it, a lot of people are going to die along the way, but let's have it out. If they want to come up and up the ante, let's up the ante with them.
All right, Colonel Peters.
Well, no, it's not that. This show has already been its mark has already been made, and I think
you're the original one. I want to talk about this because we are seeing some of the rhetoric change.
How shameful must you be, to work at something like Vox, which is run by, I can't remember that little twerp, Ezra Klein, who catalog things like this. When people express outrage over what's happening, instead of cataloging the horror, they catalog what you say. What pathetic little wusses they are.
While also saying that they stand with Charlie.
Yeah, exactly. They've never stood with it.
No. Well, New York Times also. Right? New York Times said it was a reaction to extremism.
Yeah.
Charlie was a reaction to extremism, really?
Right. All right, so here's the deal. Some people are standing up. We are seeing the reaction that Bob has been talking about and calling for a long time, because the mayor of Rotterdam, who is Muslim, is saying, you're not going to tolerate, if you're going to tolerate this, you're not with us. Take a listen.
Dat je zo tegen die vrijheid je kunt keren. Maar als je die vrijheid niet zit, in hemelsnaam, pak je koffer en vertrek. Ja, en als je het hier niet ziet zitten, omdat je humoristen niet ziet zitten die een krantje maken, ja, mag ik het zo zeggen?
Oh, it's like being on the
to Bob Beckel for a second there. That was weird.
That wasn't Bob.
Uncanny resemblance. For those of you who didn't see the subtitles, he's saying it is incomprehensible how someone can turn against freedom like this. But if you can't stomach that freedom, then for heaven's sake, pack your bags and leave.
Get the out.
Exactly. You like this, Bob?
I like how you bleeped yourself.
I did. I bleeped myself, but I think look, this is, you got to applaud these things. I mean, too little, too late, maybe, but at least it's starting to happen now, and I think it's going to have a contagious effect in the Muslim community, because it goes back to Sisi when that Egyptian president gave that speech. It finally said, "You're losing your religion."
There's one leader who hasn't really stepped up the rhetoric and made the kind of warnings that the Egyptian president did, and this Moroccan-born Rotterdam mayor.
Let me guess who you're going to say.
Yep. The world leader, the one who really should be the one saying, if you can't stand freedom, if you're not willing to fight for your freedom, then get the hell out.
Also, the leader that's dropping bombs on them.
Well, a lot of them are, Bob. Your fingers
not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Bob, I wasn't here yesterday, but when, I heard about yesterday, and
see what
2
happens
months ago,
when you're not here, Dana?
President Obama deserved credit for building what you called the largest coalition to fight terror.
Of Arabs, of Muslims.
No, and not.
No, and not.
Both.
I mean,
Arab and not.
Yes.
Here, the UK, I'll read
We
them.
have-
I'm sorry,
we
UK,
have the whole
Australia,
list.
France, Germany hasn't done air power, but the rest have. Canada and the Netherlands.
They're in the air bombing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
And I stand corrected.
this is the thing. People have joined. We asked them to join in, and they did. And they asked us to link arms, and we didn't.
Well, however, the other problem is that they don't. We need all of those governments, so many of them are a part of NATO, to fund their militaries to a greater extent so that they can help us in this effort.
Yeah, because a broke alliance is not sexy, right?
Oh.
You didn't know that. We need some financial support.
That's going to be in the new version of Bartlett's.
Okay.
Can I just add to this?
Yeah,
The
Rotterdam.
Rotterdam mayor was basically talking about addressing the criticism that some countries don't do enough to assimilate certain types of people. It's the immigrant who's responsible for the assimilation, not the country. And some of these people, in fact, are born there. But if you find it unwelcoming to your own barbaric notions of equality, that is not on the country, that is on you. If you leave a horrible place, please leave your horrible practices behind. The sad thing is a lot of these people committing these things haven't come from anywhere. They were born there, which means it is time for this moderate Muslim march to take place. And I wish that CARE would actually find a moral compass there in the United States and stand up, instead of writing press releases from behind their laptop, actually go outside and do something. CARE would, rather than being cowards, would actually do something helpful.
You know, the number of applications to go to the Western Europe from the Muslim countries are way up. Now, if they don't like Western culture, why come?
Yeah.
Why not just stay home?
No, but
We know the truth of why, because they have opportunity and freedom, and that's what
And
they
they
want to
can
get
raise
jobs.
jihad.
But don't
And get
abuse it. And
education.
how about assimilate? Try to get along with other people and coexist in peace and under.
I don't think it's the
lawful land,
government's
the laws of this
responsibility to
country.
assimilate. Society can help.
But they
as
don't.
well,
They don't
civil
help by
society.
saying
Assimilation
in
is
France
fun.
there's no-go sections of the city, and they work on Sharia law, and the police don't go in there. That's not helping anything. That creates a situation like France, unfortunately.
And you don't have to abandon your culture to assimilate.
Yeah.
You can still do the
But you
things
can't
that
have
you love
two-
to do in your culture, the foods, the dress, the music, and
Exactly.
everything. Just get along.
But you
No,
have
you
to operate
assimilate
under
the
the
best
same
stuff.
system of laws.
Assimilate that you can't spell assimilate without Islam.
Oh, now it just got weird. Next,
That's a positive point.
it appears the Obama administration has a banned phrase, Islamic extremism. Fox News asked the State Department why. Stay tuned for the answer.